Hello, radiant beings. I'm so excited that we get to gather today around prioritizing our whole being. Every part of you matters, especially when you're a visionary and you're trailblazing a path that is unique to what you need, what you want, how you want to take up space, how you want to be seen, remembered, how you want to know yourself, grow into the version of yourself that you dare yourself to be and become. It requires a sense of responsibility to look at all of you, all of you, not leaving any part of you behind, so that you can truly actualize your path in a way that reflects your truth. We all have these different layers that make us up, and what's within those layers is unique. So, we're going to look at how you can self-realize and bring those beautiful dreams, those big visions, those heartfelt intentions, those goals that you get to bring forward requires you to tend to your whole being so that you can self-actualize, so that you can grow and expand and become who you choose to be. And this is a journey of taking radical self-responsibility to look at all of you, to bring that radical responsibility, that deep presence and self-love, most importantly, to play a role in how you show up. Now, our mind, it's that GPS. What are we focusing on? And we all have different tendencies of the mind. And at the same time, our brain is hardwired to keep us safe. It is hardwired to survive. And we're also hardwired to thrive. It comes back to how we start to rewire and train our mind to work with the body, to be the vehicle to move you towards what we lean into when we connect more deeply beneath the surface around our feelings and our emotions that get created as a result of those desires. So, when it comes to being someone who has big dreams and is choosing to tap into what you are capable of, what you can, what you will do, right? You get to build this version of you right here, right now. This is where it's important to really start to connect to your mind, to connect to your body, to start to recognize those subtle sensations, cues, responses, ways of holding. How does your body show up in this experience, right? And being able to bridge the mind and the body and to deeply take this journey of self-reflection and to go deep beneath the surface to uncover the emotions, the wisdom, right? Looking at the wisdom as well, this part of you that can notice and sense presence and to just be with what is, like that's also an expression of your heart. And then also recognizing the subtle layer of your nervous system too, and where there is this more subtle communication. There's loud and there's also subtle communication that's happening more internally within the mind and within the body. So how we navigate that, how we focus on that is an important piece to starting to rewire yourself to take those leaps, to lean into the unfamiliar, to witness what can be by allowing what is to also be what is, and to lean in and to apply the action. So there gets to be this cleansing out, this purifying of being able to refine your skill to be attuned and listening to what is truth, what is in alignment, what is in service to your bliss, to your heart. This is about meeting your needs and prioritizing those needs. And in doing so, it also results in you living your dreams and tapping into your purpose and discovering your potential along the way. So, tending to your emotional body, tending to the physical body, tending to the mental body, tending to the wisdom body, tending to the heart body, tending to those feelings, those thoughts, those emotions, tending to the energy that is in motion, while also vision casting the energy that you're choosing to put into motion. So this is how you begin to allow yourself to reset and recenter yourself and ultimately purge, release, let go of attachments, reform a relationship, right? With renewal, revitalizing yourself, replenishing yourself, making decisions and choices that are life-giving to that vision and that dream on your heart. Also requires you to move through the sticky, the yuck, the muck, right? To be able to actualize requires the action and bringing forth that vision. What you see, what you know, gets to be your truth. So how we tend to our mind, our body, our emotions, our heart truly do matter for the level of vitality, how resilient we are, our ability to expand our capacity to grow. Most importantly, this comes back to how we tend to our whole being. So we will be doing a Kitchari cleanse together. So we will be doing a gut nourishing reset, Ayurvedic detox, which has a lot of really great benefits for cleansing our physical body. And when we do a detox like this, because we'll be eating the same meal for 3 days, there's also this mental detox that goes into all the things that come up in the mind. Like, do we get bored, right? We want something when we want it. Like, there's different textures. It is a more bland dish. It's easy to digest. Your body's not needing to use a lot of your energy, a lot of your vitality to digest the meal. There's a lot of digestive herbs and spices in there. So there are a lot of medicinal benefits. And eating the same thing that can tend to be a bit more bland, we're used to when we have a taste for something, we can get it, snap of a finger, right? So there's also this mental emotional detox that goes into like focusing on just being with one thing right here, right now in front of you with an intention. So there's that emotional clearing out that also gets to happen whenever we're choosing to reset ourselves. So taking care of our physical body is the fastest way to raise our vibration. And then, right, being mindful. What comes up for you? How do you hold your body? What are those things that you're purging and releasing that come up when doing something new, doing something outside of your everyday? Pattern interrupting, right? This isn't something you do all the time, right? So being able to pattern interrupt some of those habits, behaviors, the attachments, the different stress mechanisms that we even have, coping mechanisms. So giving yourself so much grace and so much compassion here as we embark upon this Kitchari cleanse together. And I'm going to also invite you to think about what are ways that you can incorporate things that help nourish your mind. What are other ways that you can nourish your body? Is it gentle movement? Is it stretching? Is it cardio? Is it swimming? Is it lifting weights, right? And again, being gentle on yourself, especially during the detoxing window. But what are some ways that you can really nurture and tend to your body? Now, there are other ways that you can also support your body with like warm oil body massages, bubble baths, maybe doing dry sweeping or dry brushing as well, maybe exfoliating. So think about things that you can do that can really help nurture your body. Now, some things that you can do that are naturally detoxifying would be the lymphatic sweeping, doing warm oil massage, long strokes, feet upward, right? The whole body oil massage. You want this to be warm and sit about for 10 to 15 minutes, and you're brushing up, up, long strokes, long strokes. And you can use coconut oil or I would say coconut oil is good. I do shea butter, but that one's really thick. You might like almond oil or sesame oil could be really great ones. So you can explore some physical ways of doing some detoxing approaches far beyond just only the Kitchari dish. And again, there's the self-care, the ritual to self-love, also coming into your intention and what you're creating here. Other things that you can do for your body are stretching and yoga, restorative practices, maybe gentle walking, however you want to move your body, maybe dancing, but just creating daily time to connect with your body. What are other things that you can explore? Maybe it's drinking more water. We do want to make sure that we're well hydrated. Secondly, tending to our mind throughout this Kitchari cleanse. Again, what we focus on, we create, right? What we think about, what we focus on. So what is your intention? What are you intending to create in your life? Where is it requiring you to show up and stretch yourself? Where do you get to push past the resistance and into possibility so that you can build new evidence around what you can do? Lately, I've been having this realization that there's certain areas where I just love to overcomplicate things. And I'm realizing that as I put myself in the position of doing the action of getting it done, that I'm like, wow, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. And then has even been things that have come up outside of my control, even when you're like, okay, it's resolved, to where I'm less reactive to where it's like, oh, okay, and there's more, and there can be more, and that's okay. Like, I don't need to make it wrong or fight it. So that has felt really freeing in my emotional capacity to hold the unexpected, as well as like following through on the plan and the vision, right? This has been a program with my Ayurvedic clinical health path. I've been immersed in this degree for the last 6 years, and just these like final, like little, like dotting the I's, the T's, making sure the periods are done at the end of the sentences. Like, I'm like, and there's more. And it's like, can I surrender? Can I not be attached? Can I just show up? Can I trust the outcome? That if I keep applying the action, when it's done, it's going to get done. I don't need to force. I mean, I definitely do and have applied a lot of effort up to this point, right? Taking the action takes effort, especially when we're taking new actions. It's going to take even more mental effort to do something new. So, how can we start to connect to ways that we can also support in nurturing our mind to start to cleanse, detox, and begin to think? And ultimately, as a result of thinking in new ways, we start to move in new ways, and the mind and the body can start to work in agreement with this version of you. So, this Kitchari detox gets to be intentional, really allowing yourself to just like devoted time to reset and recenter yourself. So there is this spiritual, like, this, like, what you're raising your frequency, your intention, what you're focusing on, priming and preparing yourself to create space for. So this is where that emotional clearing out also gets to happen, and the releasing and the letting go and the letting flow also means we get to plunge and detox and release what is not life-giving, what is not watering, what is not nourishing. So take time to be self-reflective, maybe journal more, create intentional ways to connect with nature. Allow yourself to also welcome in this layer of mindfulness and how you want to move throughout your day, and recognize the emotions that come up. And can you hold space for yourself? So, what are some practices that can support you in emotional well-being? Breath work, breath, Such an important thing. One of the first things that shift in all of our emotions, the full spectrum of joy to sadness to anger to rage. So how do you hold space for those emotions? And this is where that nervous system work can start to come into play. Because the energetic body and the nervous system and the emotional body, this is more of the subtle body of like what's beneath the surface. What is playing a role in your action? So you get to acknowledge all that makes you up and really taking the time to connect your heart body, your bliss body, what you get to be in service to pursuing, what sparks and activates passion, presence, purpose, and to really also start to recognize where you are in relationship with moving from here, this nudge, this whisper. When we start to bring it all together, there can be this attunement, and we can start to get in tune with who we are beneath the surface. What are those core truths of who we are, what we want, how we choose to pursue, lead, take responsibility, begin to respond, to stretch your availability, to be expanding your capacity, to hold the more of the joy of what is in the service to your highest good. So this gets to be an opportunity to ground and connect to what does that mean to you? How do you want to direct the direction of your life? What is the core why you want to choose to immerse yourself in certain actions, people, places, spaces, communities, growth, development, expression of yourself, your hobbies, your work, whatever it is that's sacred and meaningful to you? How do you want to know that? And how do you want to be known in that? So take time to get clear on what this 3-day detox gets to be for you. So there can be this purge of really addressing all of the layers here. When we start to take the time to get into relationship with this full expression of ourself, this is where we can start to clean up our inner well being and start to create a new foundation, a new baseline, a new way of creating stability in the structure and support in our life to be a reflection of what we really do want, right? Creating this alignment piece. So we get to reset. And this is a wonderful time to reset, especially as we start to move into a new season. And we have different seasons in life, just in general, where we get to reset, slow down, reconnect, eliminate all the noise, all the static, and reconnect, replug into your whole being so that you can attune to yourself and show up as that version of yourself. We get to take care of all of ourselves and to be supported in that in the ways that it provides for us. What does it provide for us? I'm going to invite us into a practice today. We're going to focus on cleansing the mind, the body. We're going to get in tune with our heart here. We're going to start to set the intention, and then I will share in our chat a recipe for the Kitchari. So for right now, we're going to explore an embodiment practice just to start to tune in and connect to our wisdom of what we're creating space for in our life and holding vision to that, and then holding truth to that, showing up as that. Being that requires you to do that, to have that, to become that. So, where do you desire to release, to let go? Is there tension you're holding in your body? Is there a reoccurring thought that isn't serving you? Is there a limiting belief that just keeps running the show? Where do you want to just empty and surrender and accept and just be with the what is? Because this is what the Kitchari is going to invite you into. Like it is. It's going to invite you to be in the what. It's 3 days. You can do this. You've got this. Where do you want to train your your inner muscle to trust in what you can do, what you are capable of? You can do uncomfortable things. You can grow in doing something new. So, where can you bring a beginner's mind to also this Kitchari cleanse? Is there any expectations? Where can you hold yourself to a standard? Is there any ways that you find that you're showing up where you think that certain things need to look or be done a certain way in order for things to be enough? So you get to really track the emotional piece and go on a deep journey of self-reflection equally. Like outside of this Kitchari cleanse, like this is what life gets to be about, to self-actualize those big dreams and visions. And I want you to use this Kitchari cleanse as an opportunity to watch what is the tendency. How do we respond when things are uncomfortable? How do we show up in our intention? How do we prime the body to witness what it can do? How can we stretch our capacity? How can we tap into our resilience? How can we endure being with the present moment? So allow yourself to be fully immersed in the present moment when you do the Kitchari cleanse for those 3 days. Design a self-care wellness plan for yourself. And this isn't something that you need to do all the time. Now, it is good to have staples of daily self-care and to be in a deep portal, this deep intentional portal for 3 days. You can take bits and pieces of this and sprinkle it into your everyday life. And it's important that we approach these things that tend to our whole being, but we're also practical and realistic in how we get there. So releasing expectations while also being willing to experiment and experience and give it your best and learn and grow along the way. So this isn't about getting it perfect. This is about giving it your best and just leaning in. What do I get to lean into? And what do I get to step back from? There's this somatic tracking that you can start to explore when you start to embark upon being intentional and purposeful with the actions you choose to take. And then how does this ripple out and integrate far beyond just what we're talking about right here, right now with this Kitchari cleanse? And how can there be deeper connection and meaning to really start to connect to the more of that wisdom, that more intuition, that deeper felt listening of what reflects your intention? Let's take an exhale on that one. What reflects your intention? Do you get to lean in? Do you get to practice stepping back? And just start to stretch. Notice in your body where you are. Do you get to lean in? Do you get to step back? And we're just going to start to lean in. Exhale, step back. Inhale, lean in. Maybe your eyes close. Exhale, step back. Inhale, lean in. Exhale, step back. And I just want you to close your eyes here. Just bring your hands in your lap. And I just want you to notice where you are in relationship with your mind. Is there a lot of thoughts? Does it maybe feel numb and distant? Are you constantly on to the next thing? Or can you be right here, right now? But just notice where you are in relationship with your mind. And again, you're just observing. And then just starting to notice the body. So we start to bridge this conversation here into a felt experience of just noticing what comes up for you when you think about connecting with your body. Is there a lot of presence? Are you grounded in the body? Do you feel disconnected, maybe outside of the body? Maybe there's a lot of tension or a lot of holding in the body. But just notice if there's any subtle sensations, any areas of holding, or ways that you hold your body. And just start to let there be this subtle inner knowing of where you are in really honoring your whole being here. Maybe some of these layers you've never even thought of before. Maybe some of these areas you've been in continued relationship with when you're on a journey of growth and actualizing your dreams, your visions to just continue to grow and just live wholeheartedly. This is an ongoing journey of just being in relationship with yourself. And then just noticing the more subtle parts, maybe the thoughts, the emotions that you experience and express. So, right, noticing the mind, but then what are the emotions that are a result of these thoughts? What are these emotions? And just noticing these emotions. And then this more subtle response in the nervous system, the wisdom body, the energetic body here, bridging the mind, the body, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions into this felt presence through listening to the nervous system and the emotions. Is there a lot of fight or flee or freeze? Do you flee or freeze? Maybe fawn, such as people please, or possibly even shut down. Just notice. And then bringing your heart into it, bringing your bliss body into it. Just breathe and notice here. Do you take time to listen here at your heart? Just breathe here. And what is it that you need here? What is it that you want here? So creating an intention, establishing a why here, a what you see for yourself here. It doesn't even need to make sense. Whatever just comes to heart, whatever is alive. Let it spark here. Let it ignite here. Also, coming back here is important too. Creating the choice to also arrive here is also where you meet your courage and you meet your conviction. So set an overall intention for this Kitchari cleanse. Ultimately, what this also gets to nourish and expand you in, right? A path of 3 days. You can go the distance. Lean into it. Play a part in the process. Trust your progress. Take one more breath. And I want to reflect it back to where do you feel really in connection with these different layers of yourself? Where would you like to be in connection with these layers of yourself? Just breathe. Just notice. One more breath. Third and final breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly open your eyes. Exhale. Stretch your body. Take a look around. Reach. And just ring out the spine, making a commitment throughout this Kitchari cleanse and throughout the rest of this challenge to continue to rewire the mind and the body to come back to this intention. What brings you bliss? What brings you balance? What brings you harmony? What brings you that next level of expansion? And what that intention is for you. What do you intend to express here? Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inviting this into the challenge, into this Kitchari portal. We're halfway through the challenge. Take the actions. Let yourself be seen in what you want. See yourself take the action. What matters to your heart? Inhale up. Exhale, bow into your heart. What matters to your heart? What are you creating here? All right, so we're going to journal on this. So I want you to journal and we're going to make this wellness plan. What are you creating for yourself? What is that dream that you are creating space for in your life? What do you want to continue to nurture throughout this challenge? Which also requires you to take those actions. So what do you get to do to have it, most importantly? And this Kitchari gets to be a reset for that. So we're going to make a wellness plan here. What do you get to do? What actions do you get to take that support your body outside of the Kitchari cleanse? Like we're resetting our gut. So good for the solar plexus here, the Manipura center. So we also get to release any fears, like anything come up around doing something for 3 days, interrupting what you're usually used to, getting out of the familiar, creating intentional time to detox and cleanse. What does this get to mean for you? So creating a why. What are you creating space for in your body? Right? We're cleansing, we're releasing, we're letting go. So ultimately, you're also creating space to cleanse and to welcome in what's in alignment. So just take a moment to journal down. Do you want to do warm oil body massage, bubble baths, walking, go getting massages? What are things that you can do for your body? Chiropractic appointment, maybe incorporating some teas. For your mind, what are you going to do to watch your thoughts? How do you watch your thoughts? Do your thoughts reflect alignment with what this vision and what you want for yourself is? And how do your thoughts reflect in your actions? So get honest with yourself here. And then what actions do you get to take? What actions do you get to continue to take in this challenge? Where do you get to stretch? Where do you get to stretch the mind? An area where I'm like, ooh, there's some stretching I can lean into. I had a girlfriend invite me most recently to a 10-day meditation retreat, and I was like, 10 days. I'm a Gemini girl. Can we just start with 3? So know that some of you, this might be your first time doing a Kitchari cleanse. So if things come up with doing something for 3 days straight, know that your dreams are also going to invite you to go the distance. And it's a continued journey of applied action and one step at a time. So you get to decide, what do you want to do to support your mind throughout this practice? Maybe detox from social media, maybe screen time limitations, maybe a meditation practice, a deepening into one, a starting one. So what are some things that you can do that support your mind? What beliefs do you notice come up in your thoughts, and how do those reflect in your actions? What do you believe is possible for you in this Kitchari cleanse? Do you think you're going to enjoy it? Are you resisting it? Maybe this is showing up in actions that you get to take throughout this challenge that ultimately get to also hold your intention. So allow yourself to journal, and I'll give about a minute here, on what are some things that you get to do to look at your beliefs, to watch your thoughts, to notice your mind. Your heart. What does your heart need? What wisdom is there? Can you hear that subtle, gentle whisper? Connect to what your heart has to say. What do you want to prioritize? What do you feel you need? So also reflect, what are your top 3 to 5 priorities here? And this is where you get to take those actions, to apply that action, to really lead with that courage, to show up with that conviction. What ways of protecting your heart, being open to your heart, can you start to explore? So as you get into relationship with your mind, your heart, you also start to recognize the emotions of what also is here. What are you holding? What do you get to put down? What would you like to pick up and take responsibility for? So this is where you can start to plug the mind and the heart in to doing the emotional tracking of what are you holding on to, right? So also creating that emotional release in the body, being able to let the shoulders drop, the chest open, the mind soften, the jaw let go. And so get to recognize your body's subtle response. To also what comes into play here is you're embarking upon this Kitchari cleanse and like a 21-day challenge. Like this is a stretch to do something 21 days in a row. Now, it takes a lot longer than 21 days to form a new habit, but this is a great start. It's a great place to begin. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. We can build and we build and we build on that. And we give ourselves the grace and the patience and we go the distance with this. So yes, we're doing this for 21 days and you're setting yourself up for long-term growth and success by bringing in this way that your nervous system supports you, the energetic role that you play a role in the outcomes of your life. Like there's a cause and effect to everything. And are we holding on to things that are life-giving, or are we taking actions that are depleting? So we get to take actions that are life-giving. We get to let go of things that are depleting. So this is also where it's like, yes, we're detoxing from caffeine, processed food, sugars, like all of the things. But we're also having an opportunity to detox from something much larger than just one layer to this conversation here. So I want you to go into this really taking the time to like, what is the full expression of your most radiant self? So that you can start to recognize what no longer serves you, what beliefs are not in alignment with you, what ways you no longer get to choose to be living, so that you can create new beliefs around what you can and are capable of when we also show up and we give it our heart. And to have that beginner's mind and to build this inner resilience and endurance within and to attune our body, right? To change the oil, to raise our vibration, to uplift our spirit, to live a free expression of what we want and what we need requires the discipline to go the distance. So you could do this up to 7 days. And with this being a new practice, it's recommended that you only start with 3 days. But we do want to have this full wellness plan. So if you're going to do more Epsom salts, if you're going to invite in some herbal teas, if you're going to do physical body work with chiropractic, massage care, you can do warm oil body massage yourself with sesame, coconut oil, or almond oil, tongue scraping, oil pulling, candle waxing. Maybe you go and get a colonic. You get to do what you feel you need in your own body. Maybe you want to go get a lymphatic massage, an energy clearing session. So you do want these 3 days to be immersed in rejuvenating and replenishing yourself. So what is that? And then you get to make a plan of action and give yourself that so that you can reset, recenter, align your energy far beyond just only doing something nourishing for your gut and really aligning your whole being for balance and harmony. It's going to be a beautiful portal with our Kitchari Cleanse for 3 days. Ah! We're going the distance. We're going there. I'm so excited for what we create and the energy that you and we are collectively putting into motion together here. Every time you choose to lead with intention, you create a ripple and you put energy into motion. So, throughout this challenge, continue to put in the action that reflects the outcome of your highest good, of you choosing to become who you're becoming, regardless of the discomfort, regardless of the resistance, regardless of the fear. Can you stretch into your heart? You get to build the proof and the evidence in what you can do through taking one intentional step at a time. And guess what? If you keep taking one intentional step at a time, that path you pave will mirror and reflect that reality. So this Kitchari cleanse is so much more than just resetting your gut here. This is an entire opportunity to immerse yourself in a portal of upgrading and taking on the identity and the version of who you get to choose to be, and to let this Kitchari cleanse ripple out far beyond just these 3 days. So, who do you want to be? What ways do you want to show up? What actions do you get to take? So, lastly, we're going to close out today with inspired action and to take time to reflect on that. So, right now, and this is what you get to commit to throughout the rest of the challenge here, those top 3 to 5 priorities, biggest vision, wild heart. What are you choosing to create in your life? Who are you? And what do you want to expand and grow into your life right now? And next, in order to have it, what actions do you get to take? What actions? And you don't need to know all the how of all of the actions, but what actions do you get to take? And now you get to take those actions. If it's to run a marathon, don't start the marathon run on the Kitchari cleanse. You could start some light walking, and whatever your wildest dream is, take those actions. Small, gradual, residual steps in change for the win. Long-term success. The extraordinary is often found in what we might consider mundane. But there is a tremendous amount of responsibility in the present moment through a series of multiple mundane choices that lead to an extraordinary life. So let's go all in on that extraordinary life. What you are daring yourself to shine brightly in, and what you know you are meant and called to take up space in. Invite that in and cleanse and release and renew what no longer is, so that you can be and allow what's meant to be through applied right action today. That's what we're being invited into. A full body, reset, and detox for all of the beautiful layers that make you up. So keep an eye out. I will be sending over that recipe. So feel free to share pictures of your dishes as you make them. You can use different vegetables, so you don't need to use the exact one that I send over. I really do love sweet potatoes, zucchini, or broccoli in mine. And you could do mung dal beans or lentils. I love red lentils, so you do have a little bit of choice here. So I will send over a recipe, and if you make any revisions, you're more than welcome to. Example, if you cook between coconut oil versus ghee, and then you could do like cilantro or parsley. So you do want to have some fresh herbs, lime or lemon. So I will send over one set recipe, and then you're more than welcome to still keep it simple. You want it to be a simple, easy, digestible dish. So you don't want to just pair and put everything in there. Some of the staples that will stay consistent is the turmeric, the ginger, the cumin, the coriander, the fennel, and gram masala. So you'll also want to heat up where you're going to be cooking the kitchari in. You'll want to heat up the ghee or coconut oil first, then add the dry spices. You want to let it saute lightly. Then you'll add in the rest of the dish and let it cook for the suggested time. It will be a more mushy texture. And then once it's complete, you would garnish it with the fresh herbs and lemon or lime. You also have the option to add some avocado into it too. So I will send over a recipe, but just wanted to let you know there's some ways that you can play and get creative. And again, with vegetables, you don't want to do all the vegetables. Just pick one, two, no more. And you want this to be a light, easy, digestible dish. You want it to be bland. So just to name that, especially if you're someone who loves hot sauce or lots of sweets or sours, or you tend to love a wide variety of different foods on a daily or weekly basis, there can be, again, that mental layer that can come up with a Kitchari cleanse. So give yourself a lot of grace and compassion, most importantly, which is why carving out that intentional time for extra TLC and self-care is so important at this time. And just know that there's a deeper why in what you're building and nourishing in your life. So let that be the thing that brings you back to your joy and coming back to being in service to what is in alignment for your highest good. So feel free to share your journey, your pictures of your Kitchari dish along the way, and let's continue to embark upon this 21-day challenge. And remember, stretch and take those actions. You are capable of living and leading a life that reflects what is in the highest service to your well-being. So hopefully, throughout the journal exercise that we had, there was some big takeaways. Know that if you need to come back and catch this replay again, you're more than welcome to. And if you want to deepen into those journal sections, I highly recommend bringing some journaling into your practice over these few days, going into the Kitchari cleanse, through it, and coming out of the Kitchari cleanse. So if you would love to deepen into those questions, feel free to go back to your journal and get really clear. You don't need to be clear where you're like 10 steps ahead of yourself clear, but get clear on what actions do you get to apply and take? What do you get to do so that you can be that version of you? So what actions do you get to take to be that version of you? Keep a light heart, give yourself grace, compassion, have fun, most importantly. Bring that beginner's mind here, release any expectations, and know that you get to show up and just give it your best. That's all we're being invited into. And that's really what life is about. It's just giving you your best. To wrap it up, that big vision, that big dream, that beautiful heart of yours. What if you just gave it your best? What if you just let it be that simple? And in getting to that space of self-realization, we got to pull back those layers. We got to pull back that onion and bring forth that transformation that only your heart can bring forward.